Hey good people, what's up? It's Pete Thorn. Welcome to my home studio and welcome to my demo of the BLISS Tonal Recall fully analog delay. You heard it on all the guitars on that track at the beginning of the video. Up to 1100 milliseconds of undulating, awesome, somewhat dark and wonderfully modulated analog delay coming out of this pedal. There's two versions of the pedal I should mention. There's this red knob version that has 1100 milliseconds of delay available, and there's also another version that has 550 milliseconds of delay available. So initially I must say with BLISS pedals I was a little bit freaked out by all the available options, and especially by whatever was going on here at the end of the pedal. I didn't know what that was initially, and it kind of scared me. I was like, oh man, that looks like a lot of options. But it's actually not that complicated. If you're going to hook up an expression pedal to the control voltage or expression pedal jack here on the pedal to control some of the effect parameters, all these little dip switches do is select what you want to the expression pedal to control. Okay, so if you want the expression pedal to control delay time or delay mix or things like modulation rate, you can just flip the switch and tell it what to do, basically. That's it. So if all you want to do is hook up this pedal and just get some echo going and some delay, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff unless you're going to hook up an expression pedal and you just want to assign some stuff to it. So as far as controls on the pedal go, first of all, it's quite a small pedal. I mean, it's sort of a traditional size pedal enclosure, but you've got tap tempo. In between the tap tempo and the on-off switch here, there's a three-way toggle switch here. In the middle, it just turns on the knobs and kind of pedal functions normally. To either side, if you flip that switch, you're going to be able to get a preset. So you can store two presets in this pedal. It's really nice if you need a specific delay time for a certain song in your set or something like that. You got a mix control, of course, feedback or regeneration control. If you turn that up, you're going to be able to get this to oscillate anywhere above about 3/4 of the way up. You've got modulation rate and depth controls, and I should mention the mod in this pedal sounds amazing. You heard it right off the bat with that first guitar part. I had a pretty fast kind of modulation going with a reasonable amount of depth, and I was using sine wave mod, and that's right, you can actually switch the waveform in this pedal from sine wave to triangle to square wave. So you get all kinds of different sounding modulation. The square wave kind of sort of reminds me almost of like tape warble. So if I was going for a tape delay, I would probably just use a little bit of depth, kind of a medium rate, and use the square wave, and it's got this kind of random sort of, you know, thing that doesn't sound like it sounds just kind of like when the tape's wearing in an echoplex or something like that. It's got that random kind of quality to it. And then the triangle and sine wave modes will give you sort of more typical sort of chorusing type of modulation, a little bit more predictable. Then you've also got a tone control here. This is basically, this delay is pretty dark all the time, I'll say that. It's got quite a dark character. I would say it rolls off at like 2 or 2.5K or something like that, even with the tone control cranked all the way up. Roll that tone control back, you're going to be able to get the delay really nice and dark and murky. So this delay, I would say, is going to be great if you want to run into an amp that is set anywhere from clean through to edgy through to downright kind of gainy. This is a nice choice because of the you know, I always think the dirtier the amp, the darker the delay. That's what, you know, if you're going to run into gain, delay into gain, you've got to have that darkness. Otherwise the delay will tend to take over your regular guitar sound. So some nice options there as far as being able to darken up the delay with that tone control and get it real dark and murky and just have that delay kind of sitting behind your core guitar tone. A couple other switches here are going to allow you to select the tap subdivisions. So you're able to get a quarter note, eighth note, or dotted eighth. And then you've got another switch here that actually allows you to select the chips in the pedal. So what you can do is turn off some of the chips so you get a shorter amount of delay time, or you can in the not red knob version, the other version that only goes up to 550 milliseconds. If this switch is all the way over to the left, you can get anywhere from 50 to 250 milliseconds. With the switch in the middle, you're going to lengthen that out to 550 milliseconds. So I assume, I'm not 100% sure about this, but in this red knob version, I assume that this switch is going to go up to about 500 or 550 milliseconds when you've got it all the way over to the left. Put it in the middle, and now you're going to lengthen that out to 1100 milliseconds of delay time. And then when you flip it all the way over to the right, what you get is all the chips on at once, actually, and you get kind of a sort of a similar effect to a multi-head tape echo, where you've got the shorter delay and the longer delay, and you can kind of blend them together, and you get kind of a more like sort of diffuse reverb-like wash when you use that mode. Okay, so what I want to do now is solo some of the parts from the song at the beginning of the video outside of the mix, show you the settings I use. I was running into my divided by 13 RSA 31 for a few of the parts in the song at the beginning of the video. The gainy solo, I was actually using my PT100 and I had the tonal recall in the effect loop of the amplifier, so I used it like that. And then I'm also going to give you a full run through of the controls using my TC Ditto looper, play a guitar loop into the pedal, and that'll leave my hands free to turn the controls and really give you kind of an in-depth look at what everything does here. And for that portion of the demo, I actually ran right into my UA Apollo interface. I'm using the Friedman Dirty Shirley amplifier plugin, just set real clean to give you a real sort of good clean platform demonstration of all the sounds that the thing is capable of. Okay, let's get on with it. It is the Tonal Recall from Chase Bliss. Thanks for watching my video on the Tonal Recall analog delay from BLISS Audio. Terrific sounding analog delay pedal with tons of vibe and mojo. I really like this one. I hope this video was able to answer any questions you might have had on the pedal and give you a real good idea of what it sounds like hooked up with a few different amplifiers and a few different configurations. You can check it out further at the website you see there on your screen. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Come back and see me for more videos real soon. I'm Pete Thorn. Take care.